Nothing like that. Have you ever had it since?
No, no.
Okay, so that's something that.
Yeah, for Hanukkah,
Mm-hmm.
my father used to buy wax, raw wax, and he used to make his own candles to supply the community. It was a slow process because you had a wick and you would pour
Tallow.
the wax
Or whatever it
on the
was.
wick, and then it would dry, and then you would pour some more and more. So it would take a long time.
So, of course, he probably made kosher candles. He didn't
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it from something that wasn't kosher.
Yeah, of course. Right.
Now, what happened when you went to Israel? Were you able
No,
to
we
just
didn't
get
do
your own
anything like that,
candles?
no.
It was just
We bought candles.
very interesting. Now what I'd like to talk about is your pilgrimage a few years ago back to China.
Yes.
Tell us
Anyway,
about that.
I'm very close to my grandson in Israel. We get it very, very well. Not as much as my other two grandsons here. And so I asked him if he wanted to come to China with me, for a visit, so I could show him
Your life.
my life and the different places that I
Mhm.
visited and lived in and all that. But it turned out that he had school and he couldn't come, so I said, "I'll come with you." so I said, "Okay, you want to come with me?" So we took a trip to China,
Mhm.
and it was with a group,
Mhm.
and we stayed in different hotels.
Mhm.
And we were in Beijing, and then we toured the Tiananmen Square, where all the people were slaughtered there. Yeah.
Where was that?
Tiananmen Square in
Oh, Tiananmen Square, sure.
in Beijing, where
Yes,
all the
yes.
students were killed.
Yes, yes.
There was no sign of anything like it
Looks
was.
clean
And
and,
you can't talk about it at all. If you talk about it and they hear you, you get arrested.
you were told that, not to talk about
Yeah,
it, not
yeah.
to say anything.
Not to mention anything.
So let me ask you about Shanghai.
So we went to Shanghai, and we didn't have so much kosher food. So we went with a rabbi,
Mm-hmm.
and he had his own pots and
Mm-hmm.
pans
Mm-hmm.
in different hotels, and he would bring, like soup or things,
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a satisfying kind of.
Roughing it a little.
Well,
Roughing it.
roughing it, yeah. And they would bring some challah from Israel and things like that,
Camping out.
So
But
somebody brought a bottle of wine, so we had it for Shabbat,
what did you see in Shanghai that was left and did anything look like it did in your childhood?
Well, I tried, first thing I tried was to look at my house where I lived for 17, 18 years.
Yes.
And we went to the area there, and we were looking. It was started to rain, and we were going, in that area. I knew that, it was in that area,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't find it. We were walking around, and I couldn't find anything. Then we went to the Chabad. There was a Sephardic Chabad.
Mm-hmm.
And we had dinner there. It was really great. Because the first meal we had,
It was a good meal.
Yeah. So a couple of the people who were serving was a Jewish guy and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
They were serving, So they're working for the Chabad, whatever, So we ate there 2 nights,
Mm-hmm.
being this Chabad. And so Marty got very friendly with the guy, and so Marty said, maybe we should go out for beer together,
Mm-hmm.
So So we left the group, so the group left or whatever, they went back to the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and we stayed with this couple,
Mm-hmm.
so that, said, they used to call her, hey, could you bring some, not very polite,
Not
the
nice.
people from the tour,
Mm-hmm.
So this guy was very angry. He said, she has 2 servants working for her. We're helping out, and they treat us
Yes,
like garbage,
Well, let me ask you, did you see anything from your childhood? The high
Yeah,
school or the
so we couldn't
synagogue?
find, so this
Couldn't
woman
find the
said,
house, yes.
so she said, I'll find it for you, So she ordered the Uber to come and took us to this area,
Mm-hmm.
and she speaks Chinese,
Chinese.
obviously.
You don't speak it anymore?
They don't understand what I'm speaking, because
Okay.
I spoke the Shanghai dialect, which nobody speaks anymore.
Uh-huh,
Only in Shanghai they used to speak this,
uh-huh.
but the government changed the thing
To Mandarin?
to Mandarin.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't understand what I was saying.
Okay, so this woman's there in the Uber.
Right, yeah, so she was, so she went to the corner, almost where I lived, and there was a 40-story Four Seasons hotel there,
Mhm.
near where I lived.
Mm-hmm,
So she went to the guards in the hotel,
mm-hmm,
and she spoke to them in Chinese, whatever,
mm-hmm.
And she said that I had a house where 7 houses were attached, and she
Mhm.
explained to them.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, we remember that. It was knocked down, and they built a garden in that area for the hotel.
What about your school?
Yeah, so we decided not to continue for one day with the tour.
Mm-hmm,
So we hired a taxi, a
mm-hmm,
tour guide
mm-hmm,
to take us where we wanted to go.
mm-hmm.
So we went to the school, and everything was, besides this school that I went to for, till from kindergarten to 12th grade,
Mm-hmm.
it was still standing there, and the shul that I went to
Mhm.
was still standing there. So we went to, we tried to go into the shul where
Mhm.
they said, you can't go, So the guide, she spoke to them,
Mm-hmm.
she said, he was here.
He was born here.
Yeah, so they said, okay, you can go and walk outside, you can't go inside. So we went to the shul and
Did you
saw it from
look in
the
the
outside.
windows? Or you
And
could?
that's where Hillary Clinton, when she went to Israel, to China,
Uh-huh.
she visited the shul.
What is it now? Is it a synagogue?
They said they made it into a museum.
A Jewish museum?
A museum for the past Jewish life.
Uh-huh.
So the Chabad uses it once a year for Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, like that.
Uh-huh.
They,
Uh-huh.
they allow them to come and use it.
Okay, so you found the school. Is it still a school?
And it's a government business. So I was telling Marty and the group that we went with,
Mhm.
the private, my classroom when I was a student there
Mhm.
was overlooking the street, and across the street was previously was the American Marine Barracks.
Mhm.
So when the Japanese took over Shanghai, they had their army base there in this place.
Mhm.
And I used to watch from the window how the Japanese used to train with bayonets, make-believe bayonets.
Wooden, you said.
What?
Wood, made of wood,
Made of wood.
because they didn't have
And
enough.
they really tried all out to kill the other guy, But they had masks, just like real fighting, they were trying
So it was hard to pay attention to your studies.
Right.
With this going on out the window, there was no competition.
But now there's a Starbucks cafe.
There's a Starbucks cafe where the barracks was.
Yeah.
Now it's a Starbucks. So did anything, was there any moment where you stood and you said, yes, I feel I'm back?
Well, some areas, in other words, there's an area called the Bund.
Mm-hmm.
The Bund is an industrial place
Mm-hmm.
where very, very big buildings were built. Huge, solid stone buildings. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the buildings was built by a hotel by the Soon family.
Mhm.
The Soon
Mhm.
family was Sephardi.
Banking family. You said that, wasn't that the family that got your family they got them their occupation in India, and then they sent them to Shanghai?
So they were very wealthy, so they built this hotel on the Bund.
Mm-hmm.
It's a unique kind of building, you know,
Mhm.
many rooms, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and unique structure, you know.
And that was there when you lived there?
Yeah, when I went there
And
second.
it's still there?
And they changed the name and they make it a Peace Hotel, they called it now.
But when you look at it, you've said,
Yeah,
yes,
I remember
I
it
was
right,
here.
yeah. There was also on the Bund, there was the HSBC, which was founded
Mhm.
in Shanghai.
Oh, I didn't know.
HSBC is Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Company.
Oh.
The HSBC, you know, the old
Yes, yes, I've seen it everywhere.
It was founded in Shanghai, and the building is still there.
Now, was there any person you saw in Shanghai who was the descendant of a servant you'd known, or any
No.
human being that connected?
On this private tour, she took us to a Confucius temple.
Yes,
You know, Confucius is one of the,
right, one of the gurus, one of the main people.
So I saw a janitor who was sweeping the floor. So,
Mm-hmm.
then I asked him in Chinese. I thought maybe he might know, you know, and it turned out that he understood me, you know.
Okay.
and we were conversing, you know, and he understood what I was saying, you know.
That's a nice view.
And he was laughing his head off because he couldn't believe that the foreigner could speak.
Now, was he someone your age or younger, or did he remember Shanghai before World War II? Was he older or not?
Who's that?
The janitor, the person you were talking to.
No, I didn't speak to him about Shanghai.
Oh.
I didn't speak.
But you were able to talk,
Yeah.
so you felt a little, because your English, of course, is because you went to British school in Shanghai. English was your,
Right, yeah.
we talked about this, at home your parents spoke
Well,
a Ladino, Iraqi Ladino.
Well, I mean, Ladino Arabic, you know.
Right, Arabic, not
Yeah,
Spanish, but Iraqi.
My father used to speak to me Ladino Arabic.
Right,
He was not so good in English. And I
okay.
would answer him in English because I wasn't so good
In Ladino Arabic.
But I understood what he was saying, you know.
Right, and then you went to school in English, and did you speak it with your siblings? Is that
Yeah,
when
we
you spoke to
English
each other?
with the siblings. Yeah.
Okay, so then when you had learned a little Hebrew in
Well, we
China?
had a private tutor teaching me, you know, the prayers and things like
So
that.
when you got to Israel, did you speak it enough, or you had to take over?
Well, I was forced to learn Hebrew there because I was with other people who don't speak English, and you know, from the